computer, and then just give me a second.
And by the way, oh, well, it's already recording. All right. Wait, are we live yet? Or should I wait?
1 second.
We're not live. I don't.
Okay. I'm real quick with the intros. And I have your,
Okay, and it says preparing still, and we should be good to go.
we're good. I don't see a button. Oh, there it goes. All right. We're live. Welcome, everybody. We're in Business Spotlight number 7 or 8. We have PJ Sedgwick. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Awesome. PJ Sedgwick with BOTORI Apparel. Is it BOTORI Apparel or just BOTORI?
Yep. Apparel is a fancy way of saying our riding clothing.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, thanks for taking the time. Oh. Am I the only? Did anybody else just lag just now?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. I just lagged. So if I cut out, I'm going to apologize in advance. So welcome. I'm definitely lagging.
Yeah, it's happening for me as well.
I
Okay.
think it's
not for me.
not for you
No,
guys?
not for me either. It's going fine.
Okay. Maybe it's just us. Well, let us know if it pauses. So anyway, thanks for joining us. I know it's my 3rd time saying it, but so yeah, I'm actually curious. Like, this is another topic where we did the other one we did the week before last is a topic that I didn't know very much about at all. I don't know a lot about like horse, riding horses, equestrian apparel. So I guess if you could just tell us a little bit about how you got into the business and how long you've been doing it for.
Okay, so BOTORI has been online as a store for about 2.5 years, but I would say it was a good 1.5 years before that we spent time doing the research and the marketing and coming up with the product design and development before we were able to launch. So I would say it's about 4 years in the making. But BOTORI's goal is to design riding apparel for the modern equestrian. And we say that because the equestrian world is very traditional, which is the beauty of it. But it also, from a training and athletic perspective, really could hold you behind as a rider. So even 4 years ago when we started having this idea, like the clothing was very it's like button-up pants and a belt and very restrictive. It wasn't stretchy like athletic wear should be. The colors were very tan and why not something like yoga leggings or running tights? You're an athlete. You should be able to move. You should be able to have moisture wicking from sweat. They should be durable and easy to clean. So that's where we came up with the modern equestrian approach of clothing that you can ride in, but then you can also go to the store afterwards and not look like you're in some crazy getup.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I didn't even know that was an issue. I was asking Steph about it a little bit earlier. Like I never even thought, since I've never really ridden horses, I didn't think that. So before, I mean, I have plenty of other questions about this, but to people, say you go riding horses, you're stopping, you're changing clothes, and then you're going about the rest of your day most of the time?
Well, I would say it kind of depends on what kind of riding you do. Like if you're a casual rider versus a trainer or somebody who's a professional, of course you're going to be spending a lot more time at the barn. But from our perspective, riding is just one part of your day. Potentially, you might be going to work, you might be running errands, going to the store, getting your kids, whatever. So you have to be in something that's transitional. Stable to street is a big slogan in the riding world, equestrian apparel world, of something you can wear at the stable, but it's also streetwear as well. So that's where we fit in.
PJ, knowing that the traditional clothes that you have to wear for shows, is that still the same? Has that changed at all?
I would say so. It's still very traditional in the show world.
Okay.
So we always feel that we fit into the training side of it. So when you're at home and you're training or you're just riding for fun, that's when you wear what we make. And then when you're in the show ring, there's definitely very specific colors and styles that you need to wear. And it's part of being judged is what you're wearing. unfortunately.
So is your background in, when you were saying you spent like a year and a half ish doing the product design and all that, were you already in like clothing design, or like how did you come up
No,
with?
not at all. My background is in graphic design. I'm an,
Gotcha.
you know, I work full-time at a healthcare publishing company as a graphic designer. So I don't have any background in fashion design, in fabric, textiles, production, fashion merchandising, none of that. But I am a lifelong writer and I love horses. So I think I saw a need in the market, and from there just made connections and, you know, learned along the way. But one of our major connections we made early on was we got in touch with someone at what was Philadelphia University, which is now Thomas Jefferson. We were really just looking for like maybe a recent graduate who could help us put together a sample. And Mark, the contact there, was like, you need way more than that. So he brought us into actually one of their programs that they have for their kind of their like senior level students, where it brings together people who are in the fashion world, but also people in fabric and accounting and marketing. So it's kind of this global look at your company. And they took us from an idea all the way through a production sample. So it was a huge like windfall to make that connection to get us started.
Really
That's
cool.
awesome. I mean, I feel like the best type of businesses there are, theoretically, you would think most businesses are made out of needs, but for you having a personal need for it and coming up with the idea for it seems that's awesome. Yeah. So with the team that you're putting together, are you producing, like you figured out what the products are going to be, then you figured out who's going to make them too, and then that whole process, so like from start to finish?
Yeah, I mean, you have to come up with the concept, and then there's the actual design of what it looks like, but I think one of the toughest things, at least for me, was fabric sourcing, because you have to find the right kind of fabric that it feels good, but then it's also durable, that you can brush hair and dirt off of it, that you can wash it. Like it's not like something that you have to treat like dry clean, special treatment. So fabric sourcing was really difficult. And then you have to have a pattern made, which is like a digital pattern that they cut from, and then the production house does all the cutting and sewing. Sometimes they do the packaging, and then there's the whole shipping and order fulfillment portion of it.
Wow.
It's a pretty big cycle.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to say that we do like the majority of that right here in Philadelphia.
That was literally going to be my next question. Like, how does it, where does it happen? So stuff is made here?
Through our connection at Philly, I keep calling it the old name, Thomas Jefferson University. He connected us with a local pattern maker. So she like kind of takes the drawings and the concept and turns it into an actual, like, these are the pieces you cut out of the fabric to sew together. And then he also connected us with a local production company. They're called Coates Brother Clothing. And that's been a wonderful relationship, because the woman who is like our account manager and production manager, her daughter also rides. So she got it. She understood the need for riding apparel. And so she's been a great, not only production help, but also kind of a great resource for design, because she's a designer, or fashion designer herself. So those were kind of our two main things. So the design kind of is from me and some of the original designs from the student team. And then the pattern maker would make the pattern, and then Coates would make the samples, and then eventually do the production work. And Coates is right in North Philly. So it's like, I can drive in my car and go and see. I know the people who are actually sewing the pants. It's not a foreign country. So it's been really great.
Very cool. Where do you find most of your sales are they local or international, or?
I mean, I think at first it was local, because it was people that we knew, like introducing the brand to, but it's funny. It's like, it's East Coast from West Coast, and a lot of people in Texas, because our pants are really great in the heat. Like,
oh wow,
they're black and they're tight to your skin. Like the moisture wicking and like the breathability of the fabric makes them really great for the heat. But I found that anywhere that like I get one order from, like within a month, I'll get like 3, 4, 5 orders from that same place because we think we get a lot of word of mouth referrals because people are so happy and they tell their friends and then they buy some. So
Right, once they get them.
yeah.
And do you use, is it the same material for the riding pants for the running, or are they one and the same, or running pants as well? And then you have.
Yeah, so it's basically the pants that we have, the riding pants. What really makes them special is they have a knee patch on them. So I brought a pair to show you. So this is kind of what makes it from being just a yoga pant, or can you see? I don't know how to see.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a new one we just released and it's a lot more contrast so you can see it. But basically it's a faux suede patch, and sometimes it's just at the knee and sometimes it's in the full leg. Those are called full seats. But that's what provides the friction that helps you grip onto the saddle. So, I mean,
that's the inside of the thigh right there?
Yeah, the inside of your knee.
Your knee.
The inside of the knee. Okay.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you could ride in just yoga tights, but you're not going to have that same kind of grip. And some other brands make them out of silicone as well. So it gives you even more grip in the saddle. Just depends on your preference for riding. But we do make some without the patches. So I sell those for people who don't ride or for everyday wear, running.
Okay, so those are more the running pants without the patches.
But honestly, the patches are they're the ultra. It's called ultra suede. It's but it's faux. It's not real suede. It's so thin and flexible. I think you could run in them too. I know people who go running and then go to the barn. So double duty.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear. Like I never would have thought. I mean, it logically makes sense. Like you need something with extra grip. I guess obviously you're riding a horse. It makes that big of a difference.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, your equipment makes a difference too, because if your saddle is really slippery, then you want more grip, or you could have, maybe you have a grippy saddle and you don't need as much friction.
So it's almost like the faux suede on a suede where you're gripping on the saddle. Exactly. There's suede. So it's, yeah, it's not on a smooth surface.
Yep.
So it helps with grip.
So what would you say was like even at the beginning in the design process before everything was up and running, what was the hardest part like of putting it all together? Because it's you know, more than a few moving parts.
Yeah.
Because I asked because like I think you would think, you know, there may be people out there who like are going to get inspired, be like, oh my God, like I can come up with an idea that's cool and like stay locally and find people to help me put it together and then you know, be successful with it.
Yeah, absolutely you can. I guess I would just say, at least personally for me, the hardest thing was maybe time. Just because there was a pretty steep learning curve of like, I don't need to know all those technical details. I just need to know the people who know those things. But you still have to know enough to communicate with them, right? And I do have a regular 9-to-5 job, and then I have my horse to ride and my family. So I think finding the time to get it all started and to keep yourself motivated at the beginning when you're not really seeing any results because you don't have sales yet. Now that we've been selling for 2.5 years and I have a lot of really loyal customers, it's still time because now we're more busy. So I have a lot more orders to pack and fulfill because I do everything myself. So I pick up the production order, and then when an order comes in, I bag it all up and package it and take it to the post office myself. So we're still on that cusp of it. Like it's not quite big enough to become like where I could hire somebody, but still a lot for kind of a side gig.
I was gonna say, I'll go deliver some for you.
Your pants.
I'll trade you.
Do you make male apparel too?
No,
okay.
not right now. It's funny, we keep joking that every April Fool's Day, my husband keeps saying, you need to put out a post about your new company, BOTORI. Like, but no, not right now, just because it's funny because in the professional riding world, there are a lot of men. I mean, I'm just going to roughly estimate that's like 50-50. But when you're like local at a barn, you'd be hard pressed to see a guy riding or a boy. So it's mostly women, at least on that kind of like, I ride and I do all this other stuff, non-professionals.
Yeah. I did not know that. Maybe at some point, I mean, you'd think if you ever expand your product line and then add something else that maybe can also appeal to more professional riders. Is that like, do you have an idea now if like you plan to grow this into you have part-time and then full-time, or like, do you want this to be your main gig?
Definitely I do, yeah.
Oh, awesome.
I hope so. I mean, we started out with one style pant in 2 different colors, and now we have, I think, 4 style pants in a bunch of different colors, and we have shirts as well. That were custom designed for BOTORI. So we're growing. I mean, I'm trying to do it smart and slowly so that I don't grow too fast, too big, too fast. Because again, it's me on the side, and I'm 100% self-funded. So never had any investors, and I don't really care to bring on any investors. So I see how you're nodding at that.
It's better that way.
So I want to make sure that I can grow in a way that I can do it on my own.
So you said that you were trying to bring in some new items. What kinds of things what are you changing, or what are you bringing in?
I think, well, so my husband always is like, you get bored of things too fast. Stephanie knows this because I'm always looking for property. But he's like, slow down. Like, you've only reached, like, Instagram is the only platform that we really market on. Like a tiny bit on Facebook, but really Instagram. So he's like, you've only like reached out to a fraction of people, and you're already like tired of your color like combinations or whatever. So I have to learn to slow down and like spread my reach versus like maybe growing the collection or adding more things on. But I would say one thing I definitely want to do. So the newest thing that we just added from a pants perspective is, so the original tights were just like a yoga tight, right? With like a regular flat waistband. But like I said, the traditional equestrian world, people love to wear belts. Like, belts are a really like popular accessory. I know. So we came out with a pair of they're called breeches when they have like the belt loops, the more formal wear. So a pair of our breeches do not have like a zipper and a button. So they're still a fit like a yoga tight, but they do have belt loops so that people can wear them and still be comfortable, but also wear their belt. So I think for me, I'd like to push that in a color palette that allows you to wear those in showing situations, because I think that would really broaden our market.
Leah, do you have any of the pictures available of Cedric, of PJ's stuff? Because there is some, I think Rodney wants to know if any of the models are local too. But there are some things that we were looking through all the pictures, and he was surprised at, that this is like riding stuff. So,
yeah, I mean,
some of it definitely looks like streetwear, right? Or
yeah,
a yoga wear. Yep. So she's wearing riding pants, so that's a good testament to how flexible, like that knee patch is, because she's running in them. But there is a knee patch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Leah, I think there's one with the woman walking across the street. If you have that one.
Yep, in New York City. Shelby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, like I tried to keep the branding really classy and minimal, so that you can take off your riding boots and put on some heels, and these basic black pants you can pair with anything.
Yeah.
Cool.
You wouldn't know. You really wouldn't know just looking at it. So.
Oh, and I mean, and plenty of styles in just the regular fashion world pull from the equestrian style. So having those knee patches on in kind of an unexpected place it's just like a little nod to like, yeah, I'm an equestrian. Like, girls who love horses love people to know that they love horses. So even if it's
and I have a question, which is like the question everybody, or I see a lot of with yoga pants and running pants, the black ones, they see through. Because I know.
Oh, no, that's what I love about these pants. It's called, I'm gonna forget the term now. See, this is one thing I definitely struggle with, is all the like fabric and like production terms. But the type of fabric that it is like, it's no see-through. But we do make these in white, which, you know, the white, just because they don't have it, there is a little bit, I always say, like, if they're really tight on you, do not wear polka dot underwear underneath them. But definitely the black ones, 100% opaque, cannot see through them.
Very cool. Good.
And you spend a lot of time in the saddle with your butt kind of sticking out, so.
Yeah. You want to be sure.
Yeah.
I've been on some bike rides where.
Wow.
Lot to think about, Rodney.
I got all sorts of thoughts running through my head.
To yourself.
So, and you said, are you doing like marketing wise? You're mainly on Instagram. Are you doing like mostly organic outreach or paid advertising or a mix of both?
I would say it's like 98% organic. I've tried paid a little bit.
Yeah.
As I mentioned before, self-funded. I feel like marketing is kind of the last thing that I have on my list when I'm paying for things.
Right.
Especially just because word of mouth has been really popular by us. And the equestrian world, at least on Instagram, is pretty tight knit. And there are definitely some well-known influencers, and they picked up on our pants right away from the beginning, and reached out to us. So definitely we're on a lot of influencers' radar, on bloggers. We've had lots of blog reviews, and a lot of equestrians will do like an exchange of photos for like free product. So I think that has been what has been our major marketing reach organically on Instagram, is just it's in the right people's hands, right?
Yeah, I would even think, I mean, like, have you ever thought about going international? You wouldn't?
Oh, we ship internationally. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. This could have, I mean, it's a really big appeal. Yeah.
I just got a second order today from a girl in, oh gosh, I'm going to forget. I feel like she's in Palestine. She's been waiting for this specific color to come back in stock, so she just placed her order. But yeah, I mean, I've shipped to Australia. The UK is really big in equestrian wear, but they have a lot of big brands themselves. I'd say the UK and Australia, two big, huge markets to tap into that we haven't quite gotten to yet.
So what you're saying is, in like 2 years, we're going to be doing this phone call. You're going to be, hey, I'm rolling around London right now. Just got another client here. Got to fly to Australia tomorrow.
I'm looking to be in New Zealand, but yeah, so hopefully somewhere.
Oh, right, because that you have the most amount of space to ride, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, I mean, that's exciting. I feel like this seems like a great business, and I'm excited for you. You seem like you're growing the right way. And if you ever come up with anything for guys, I've only been on a horse once in my life. It was like 10 years ago. My friend in Germany, she rides horses. So I've been over there, you know, in right outside of Cologne, right? You say in English.
Okay.
And I tried it once or twice. They had a huge, they gave me their biggest horse. And it was scary as heck, because like if you do something wrong and you fall off, I was like, oh my God, like you're moving back and forth.
Yeah.
So
there's definitely a bravery aspect to riding.
What's that?
There's definitely a bravery aspect to riding.
Oh yeah. But it's, I mean, I think it was really cool, but I could see how like I could take a little while to get pretty good at, and to get in sync with your horse.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So I think this is awesome. Do you have any other questions, Steph?
I don't think so. Unless is there anything that we should know, PJ, or coming to the end of the half hour and you have work to do too?
I don't know. I guess just follow us on Instagram.
Where do we find you?
And then where would people find you?
So our web address is BOTORI, BOTORI.life. And so just a side note, BOTORI is sort of an acronym for Born to Ride. Because it seems that if you're into horses, and you kind of have that, like, it's like in your DNA and you just love them from birth. So we always joke that we were born to ride. But so botori.life is the URL. Botori.life is also our Instagram handle. And I think it's BOTORI Equestrian on Facebook.
Awesome.
Okay, so if anybody wants to look at the catalog, they can go to the website, get all the information and purchase directly.
Shop button, everything's there.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks again for joining us. Wish you the best success with growth and all that. And if I run into anybody that's an equestrian, I'm saying that right?
Yeah.
I'll definitely point them your way.
Thank you so much. I really
Excellent.
appreciate you having me on.
Thanks so much, PJ.
Awesome.
Have a good
All right.
one.
Catch you guys later.